because before I got on, I was getting ready. I had
Yeah.
you playing on my browser on my another. I was listening to you live.
Oh,
It was just.
yeah. I got you.
I
Okay.
wasn't
Good.
freaking, but you know how technology is, man. I don't really trust I don't touch my computer a lot because I'm always, handy and my iPad, and it
Yeah.
needs to update. When you turn it on for that first, when you need it, it's like you got to update this and run a
Yeah.
software test, and technology is, man. So,
Yeah.
sorry about that.
I've been there. In fact, I've done it where mine has locked me out, and I've had a funhouse mirror going on. So there's like three of me, and those are fun. So I'm not seeing anything in this article that corroborates why I should be afraid of the robo taxi. I mean, I did get a friend Niedermeyer there. He's choosing not to be in it. That's fine, but I don't see anything. There was that case where it was being too cautious around the police, but if somebody hit it in front of 8 policemen like that, what? That sounds like somebody else's problem to me. I mean, it's not like it slammed on the brakes. It was
Right.
stopping in traffic, yes, but it wasn't abruptly stopping. Is that Monaco? I remove my breakfast before she takes it.
Hey, and it's another thing. Not being biased. It's just that it's that thing when they want to see something go wrong or don't
Yes.
succeed. That's
Yes.
I mean, let's just be real. At the end of the day,
Like cheerleading a failure.
exactly.
There you go. Oh, this one? What?
On Play-Doh.
You got an egg right there.
On Play-Doh.
Did you do stuff that gets you a Play-Doh prize?
Yeah, I pee.
She's getting big, man.
Normally you don't get a Play-Doh for PM, but let's go. Hey, Makita. It's good to see you.
Oh, look
We
at
got you.
her.
Yeah, look at that smile.
Boy, you
I
got.
hear and then it was the banging sound. It was
The banging sound?
yeah, it was something
What, just now or last night?
Right now moon up.
Last night when the moon was up? Yeah, I installed the radiator in the ceiling. Did you see it?
I hear something in your bedroom. It was
Not in my bedroom. It was here in this office.
Ding, wake up, and then it and then I hear she talking. Don't hear again.
Well, the videos I had last night playing were men were talking about science and news and stuff. So you usually heard any of stuff, okay?
I want.
Mommy got you a Play-Doh that I probably wouldn't have given you?
I want.
Hey, Casey, she enjoy being a big sister now.
That's a good question. She's kind of off and on about it. Not very gentle. She's trying.
Yeah.
Marcus wants to know if you like being a big sister. She's more concerned about the Play-Doh. This one, she adores her sister right here. She comes in the room, she doesn't care anything about the parents. Just all smiles.
Hey, Casey, it won't let me. I'm trying to reply back in the chat. It just give me like a block, and when I type it, it won't let me send it. Is this something on my end?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Because all the replies would come back as if I said them. So it doesn't.
Gotcha. I got you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They really should just ask what your YouTube is and then reply as you.
What's that?
I said they should just ask you if it's okay to reply as you, and then get you to log in, and then it would be right there. But it's been about how long have I been out here? 6 years. They haven't done it yet. So.
Oh, you talking like I can go live with you on my YouTube?
Well, like they should ask you if you have a online, and then ask you if it's okay to log you all the way in.
Oh yeah. You talking Streamlab? Yeah.
This one is a Talk Studio, but yeah.
That's a good point.
They should, but they don't.
That's a good point. Too much like right,
Right. Well, it's probably not easy, but
yeah.
Little one's gonna put us a lot of work soon by the time she's 5. She's gonna...
Yeah, I'm doing it through my phone. I'm just trying something out. Yeah.
Definitely. So yeah, like you were saying, these people are cheerleading failure, like a Schadenfreude or something. I want it to succeed, and I don't want anybody to hurt. And I find if other people can also succeed at their stuff, because this is going to save a lot of lives because humans are terrible drivers, even the best of them.
That is true. Like I try to tell people, I was telling someone I was live a couple of weeks ago. I was at the racetrack. I was trying. My team wanted me to get some tests. I put some stress on my battery on smoke. They wanted me to put some. They wanted me to put some stress tests on. So basically, I ran a couple laps on the track at 60% just to get some data, see what kind of performance they're gonna do it at 60 or so. So I did that and then drove it. Did that and then preconditioned the battery, which is already hot. Preconditioning to go to the local Buc-ee's that have a supercharger. I thought they had the V4s, but they didn't. But anyway, so I drove it from the track to Buc-ee's, which is like about 15 minutes away, and I charged back up to 90%, and then drove it back just to we was getting some data just to try something out. So, and I was pretty impressed.
Yeah. So there's a movie about racing. I don't know if it's the Ford versus Ferrari or the other one. Name all of a sudden escapes me. I had that one first. Ford versus Ferrari. Where they asked this racer why he's not driving faster. He said, "There's no prize. I'm not getting paid. Why should I drive unsafely?" And that one sticks with people about he's not in a race. Why should he drive like he is on public roads?
Right.
They were pissed that he was just driving the speed limit, and she's like, "You should go faster." No, why? But he's also European, and I noticed that a lot of our European friends are less okay with the 1-ton speeding that we do here in the States.
They must drive faster over there, or can drive faster, maybe.
I'm not saying that they don't speed, but I'm guessing that whatever the percentage is not as nice as ours.
Yeah.
By nice I mean like large, or perhaps they're looking at where these people are speeding. Hey, you're in a 30-mile-an-hour zone. Why don't you stay?
Look, that's funny that you just said that because weeks ago, during holiday time, I was picking up one of my kinfolk relatives from that was flying in from Chicago, and they flew in here. I was picking them up from the airport and so on because I had time. I wanted to Uber them or whatever, so I went and picked them up. And on the way back, we got on the toll, doing that thing. But they was like, they surprised by me love the speed I love. I don't drive fast and stuff. I said, nah. I said, it's a different. I like to have my good insurance, then I'm gonna say drive out here, Then White Ghost is I told him White Ghost is my baby. I just just take it easy with White Ghost. So
that's smart. That's
but yeah, I don't drive fast as well. But I like speed though.
I see your message, Tyler. Come on back in, and then I'll pop it back in. Yes, baby. Yes, baby. What's up? Food? You just ate. That's why you came back. You came back because you had your food. Why you spit on me?
Hey, Kacey, have you got any more new gray hairs pop up that you see?
Oh yeah, I got 2 right here, and then I got like another 8 in the beard. Yeah, it's funny to you. It's funny to you. You want to wear some headphones? Wear your sister's headphones? Marcus is here. Talk to me.
She's like, I don't know him. Oh.
But maybe that's why she's crying, because
I don't know him.
I'm not letting her talk. Hi, Marcus.
Hey. Hey, cutie.
He's talking to you. He's talking to you.
Hey, cutie.
Yeah.
Hi. Wow. I still got it with my little baby, with my grandbabies. They a little grown now. Well, they're older now, but look at hey. Look at she's so cute.
Yeah.
They grow up fast though, man. Boy, before you know it.
That's we'll be talking back in another couple of months.
Man, you're gonna have them on. They're gonna be having their own podcast.
I hope so.
Let's talk.
Yeah. I don't see any reason to be afraid of this situation.
What have I missed though? Like, what's some of the stuff you had covered? You ain't gotta go like just kind of. What's some of the stuff you had covered before I jumped on?
We just talked about what we saw in the news. I noticed that the Green Car Reports website has been updated since March, and we had a couple of articles like the Pin to Drive And then somebody was freaking out about pin to drive, and other people were like, it's a great idea. And then other people were like, why are you giving your phone to that many people? So it was an interesting dynamic on that one. And this one here, I wanted to see what they were complaining about, because I don't see, unless it was a service event and they were out of loaners, I don't see how this came to be. Then her door's locked. Couple's Tesla stalled in the middle of a road trip. Stalled, really? I don't think Tesla stalls, because it's always in gear.
They said stalled, like.
That is stalled. Initially locking them out of their vehicle. They managed to get inside, and they were met with a series of frustrating hurdles that left them fearing if they could even manage to get their car to a service center. You can always get towed to a service center. You just might not like the way they do it. Smash it up there with wheels dragging. Another TikToker explained some of it. Documented the hoops that she had to go through, which are they were bricked on a road trip. I don't believe that. The last time I've heard of a bricked Tesla was the Roadster.
The Roadster. I was just going to say the Roadster.
Yeah. And then Highlander could tell us about that from his conversations with Mr. Gruber. I think if I get into Tesla, I'll do what she says. You got a 13, I had a 16, 7 years in on my 18. Let's see, she begins her video where her partner seated inside the car. Video cuts to blank middle screen. Okay, so it's blank. Doors pop open. Complains about his inability to start. Fears they may have damaged the windows by opening the doors. Because electronic mechanisms, you can get a locksmith to open the thing, even if the battery is dead. And yes, there's a chance you could scratch the trim, or if you do it too aggressively, that you could crack the window. But it's still just a car on that particular aspect.
Correct.
And if you have a Model 3 or anything like that, you can apply. Well, especially any of the modern cars, and obviously she said got one of the modern ones because she's doing this claim on TikTok like that. Just apply a 12-volt battery to the, or even 9-volt, to the override that's in the bumper, and it only works on the new cars. It only works if your battery is dead. That will pop the frunk so that you can then get a proper jump box onto the terminal, or the jump point and the terminal, and then you've got full power. Just give the car a minute to boot up and wake up and reassess itself, and then it's back to normal. You can't drive on 12 volts. But
exactly.
There's nothing to worry about here.
That is correct.
Freaking out about nothing. I get that it's new and it's not what you expect, but if you don't know, then definitely don't, speak authoritatively. You could say, I was fearful and it broke on me. This one broke on me, but you can't say they're all like this. You can't say that it's a flaw if you didn't know the procedures.
Correct.
I read the manual on everything that comes to me, especially if it's going to take me a couple weeks to get it. I have at least skimmed the whole manual before it comes through. I know that's a lost pastime. Damage the windows. It's literally not turning on. It sounds like it's turning on if it's opening the doors. Because we opened these, our windows are probably broken. No, they're not. And we're like, probably 1,500 miles from home. You don't know how far you are from home. And the closest Tesla dealership, well, there are no Tesla dealerships. Tesla store or service center, literally 3.5 hours away. Okay. At this point in the video, her partner tries to say that they'll need to travel 150 miles to get to the Tesla dealer. Continuing to break down the sequence of events that led to the refusal to start. Here's what happened. We got back from dinner, and the doors wouldn't unlock. For one split second, the passenger side door unlocked, so I was able to get in. Well, it sounds like the door unlocked. But then we tried the touchscreen, touched the brake, nothing. And we couldn't even use the button to open the door. Yeah, her battery's dying. This is my first assessment on the 12-volt battery.
Did it say what car it is? I'm sorry.
They didn't say what car it is, I don't believe, but it sounds like a Model 3. And any of them, it should have been telling them for hours that their battery was not.
That's what I just finna say ahead of time. Yeah. It's gonna let you know that, low, unless you ignore it. But yeah,
she's gonna skip the part that she ignored that from.
See, that's the part. See, that's why I make some of the videos I do, man, because I just want, misleading people.
Yeah, exactly. The Model 3. Well, but the misleading people you can use for clicks, I guess. Yeah, it's a Model 3. Look at the design of this. Let's continue. We also called a roadside service center. It doesn't say the roadside service from Tesla. Not that they would do it if you're out of warranty, but at least they can give you a couple items before they tell you to go find the truck.
Correct.
I don't have a high opinion of roadside outside of warranty, but it's because they're not empowered to do what they need to do. Tesla, I don't know if they contract them or what, but they just aren't able to answer any questions.
Well, yes and no on that. Reason why I say that because from over time now, I don't know if it's just because we're in Austin, but several months ago, like for example, I had to have roadside service for White Ghost. I was on my way to work on a toll, and I had a tire leak that was just, the tire was bad or whatever, something went wrong. And I had to have it towed. So when I was on the, dispatching, whatever, he asked me what car it was, et cetera, et cetera. Long story short, so the tow guy that picked me up, I made a video, it's on my channel, I made a little short on it, but he knew pretty much about the cars, so he kind of, because over time they train them. He said their company trained because they wanted me. He told me, when we were talking, you ride with them to, they told me to the house. They was telling me they want to be advanced for the future or know something. They know Tesla's all over now and they ain't going nowhere, etc.
Yeah.
So that's a good way the company train them on it instead of just ignoring the fact or just, what I mean, if that makes sense. They know about it.
I had the one where they changed our motor out to one that doesn't leak inside itself and runs slowly. And then that new motor broke. And then roadside didn't want to help me. They're like, you can wait till service opens and service can do it too. But then another time when our battery BMSs had corroded, the battery was fine, but the BMSs had rusted because, well, I don't park inside and I have weather. And so as you heat up and cool down the air around the car and inside the battery pack, condensation can happen. And on those older units, some of the BMS boards weren't waterproofed enough that the condensation was enough to take them out. And so we supercharged it, heated up, and then it started to cool down, and that was it. It was the final little bit of rust. And then it said, yeah, it's not safe to go anywhere in this thing because I don't know it's not going to catch fire. And so it shut it down. So that time I called roadside, and they started to give me the same spiel about, oh, you're out of warranty, this, that, and the other thing. I was like, she's like, hold on, you got an old car. And then she looked at it and said, yeah, you got some time. And she pulled a tow truck from Georgia back to Georgia, and we were almost out of South Carolina. So, like I said, it's a mixed bag for me with roadside. So I know they can, especially if you're in warranty, but if you're out of warranty, they seem to have their hands tied hard.
Hey, when you say that, for the people that's listening, so they'll have a better understanding. When you say theirs, that means that they mean calling that number that's on the Tesla, the one that's provided on the Tesla screen, or if you got it stored. That what you mean?
I guess so. I got it stored from before I had the first one, so it's
okay.
Just all the same.
Cause like when I need roadside service for mine, I usually call, like I said, my insurance or my insurance provider through that way.
And that's what I ended up doing when the first one was saying that it's on the service center, but the service center was closed. I was like, fine, I'll call mine. I stashed it at my sister's house. Then I called service. They're like, oh my goodness, we're so sorry. We left you on the side of the road, blah, blah, blah. And then they picked it up from there and fixed it. But my advice to them was, rather than leaving somebody on the side of the road saying, here's a list of people you can already call on your own, they should say, hey, if this turns out not to be covered by service, you're out of warranty, you could be on the hook for
XYZ.
However much the quote was, and come get you, is that okay? And then versus saying, nah, here's a list, have a good night.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know if that registered or what, but like I said, that next time I needed them, it was better. And actually, that wasn't the next time I needed them, by the way. That was the next 2 times I needed them were better. So that same time I went to go pick up the loaner car on that same trip after I'd done the complaint was I arrived after service had closed, and normally you can unlock with your app and all that stuff because they already had me fully set up for it.
Right.
But I hadn't yet taken possession of the car. What I didn't know was I had actually arrived not just after service had closed, but I arrived during an hour that the app was down. They don't have these app outages all the time anymore, but it was like a partial outage. And so like I called the guy up and he's like, yeah, I can't get in the car. He's like, how'd you lock yourself out? I said, well, actually, I didn't actually get in it yet. He said, oh, okay. And he unlocked it after he had me prove who I was. He unlocked it, and I was able to find where they put the key card. It was not where I expected it, and grabbed the key card. Well, because for me, they usually use a handful of spaces, and it was not in those handful of spaces. It was someplace entirely different.
Gotcha.
And so I got the key card, and then I tried to add it to the app, and that didn't work. And then come to find out that there was an outage after we'd driven some ways and stopped to get a dinner, and then I tried one more time, and it worked.
Right.
And then I saw like it was on X. There was a flash about, hey, is your app back? Mine's back. Oh, well, it would be nice to know the app was out. But it was like only a partial outage because mine was working for tracking down both cars and seeing them, but not for controlling the loaner car. But Roadside helped me with that. They're like, yeah, you locked out. Click. So this hit or miss for me with that. But so she said we got back to the diner and the doors were for a second we thought there was a fire burning. A fire burning? What?
Oh my God, they being dramatic now. Okay, I'm sorry.
Where did you park your car that you think it's on fire?
See, they want the you know how people do to go viral and that good stuff.
Yes. We smell burning plastic. Okay. Getting the vehicle towed out to be an ordeal as well. The tow truck company doesn't want to tow us because it's too far. Yeah, they did that with gas cars too. 224 miles of driving. Yeah. But they'll do it. They'll do it. They like money. It's a matter of if your insurance company won't pay them to do it. They're not really interested in working for free, especially with all the gas costs. Diesel. You don't like it when people tell lies? Yeah, we don't like when people tell lies either. That's right. All right, so she and her partner provided an update on the situation in a second clip. They were able to find a towing company to get their car. Well, that'd be another one. If it's out of his range, or if it's time for him to go home and eat dinner, he might also not want to go deal with it. That's one thing. As you're selling cars, you see a lot of people get divorced in the car sales because you get that last minute sale come in, and then the spouses get upset that it feels like they're getting put on the back burner all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Even they're providing for the family. It's just it doesn't feel right because like, oh hey, I thought you'd be home an hour ago, but yeah, it took 3 hours to close the sale. They came in right before close. You see a little bit of it in the restaurant industry at the restaurants that don't know how to tell people kitchen's closed. You guys know what I'm talking about there. If you've been in one of those restaurants, kitchen's closed. No. Oh man, shucks, I missed it. Or you come in and hey, they're turning off the lights, cleaning around. You're like, why did you tell me you were about to close? I would have just got it to go. Oh, well, blah, blah, blah. No, you tell me it's time to close, and I understand.
Yeah.
Got me here looking like a jerk, keeping these people from their family for an extra hour.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel bad. I don't do it. Like I said, if they about to call me, oh, sorry, or if they be like, oh no, don't worry, I just don't like to be that person. I ain't gonna lie.
Right. The one that happened to me was they had changed their hours or it was like a one-time something or other, and
yeah,
they didn't update it correctly. And I was like, well, still just tell me, and I get the hints.
Yeah.
But if you had told me in the beginning, I would have just ordered to go in the first place, and
right.
If the kitchen wasn't closed yet, it would have been so much easier than having to.
Because then I'd be like, it's kind of on them in a way. Because like if you're looking online or Google and they say it closes at 10:30, but then
they'll have a little sign on the door.
Yeah.
Tonight, don't close early. Yeah. So let's see. Another reason I wouldn't start text overlay in the clip hypothesized the culprit could be the 12-volt battery. Yeah. We clocked that right away, didn't we, Marcus?
Yeah, automatically when the first time you started spraying some of the problems,
Yeah.
But like I say, it's probably on that screen. They probably ain't paying attention or just overlooking. Because I know some Tesla owners out here in Austin alone, they just ignore certain things. It be right there in their face,
Right. I mean, like I would not start a trip with a warning about the 12-volt battery. I would secure a battery either somewhere along the trip or I would make sure it was fixed before starting the trip.
That's true.
Unless it was like that morning, it's like, oh, we gotta go ahead. Let me call ahead and find somebody who's got one along the way because it's just turned on. But it had been on for a week. I'm not going on a road trip. I might not even go to work.
And that's plenty enough time warning,
Mhm.
for you to ignore it and
Yeah, because the only time that 12 volt can go without some sort of warning is if you have like a catastrophic failure, like the 12 volt springs a hole, or some system happens to go down that charges the 12 volts, DC to DC, or but then you'll notice that you've run over a manhole cover or something, and and then you get a quick death from the 12 volt. All right, so the first possibility is one that several drivers have tested other EVs experience 12 volt battery. Yep. Yeah, we all clock that. Unable to open the doors, have windows rolled down by themselves because the battery is low. Okay, yeah. Stranded for the night. That, again, if it was a 12 volt, this is definitely a personal problem. The issue was in fact linked to their 12 volt battery. Boom, called it. All that drama for what? Clicks. Tesla representative instructed them to get the battery replaced as soon as possible. Yeah, it's not just any 12 volt battery, but it is a rather standard 12 volt battery. They'll ship it to you. But this is why I went for the lithium with the Bluetooth, so I can track what's going on with it. Of course, I've got a lead in there right now because Tesla tried to throw away my 12 volt because they let it die.
Yeah.
And then they tried to throw it away because it wouldn't start. Yeah, you got me by the ear, baby, and that's not really good to eat.
I'm just still trying to figure out where the burn smell come at, like where the plastic burn smell come at.
Probably the person next to them lit up a cigarette or something. Let's see. The partner says he still has faith in the car. Yeah, it's like once you find out that it was a matter of you ignored the battery warning for a week, why would you blame the car for that? Plus, what gas car even gives you a warning that the battery's about to die? I mean, you might notice it's hard to crank, but if you're not paying enough attention, you don't see that, and then it just leaves you in a parking lot. Only benefit there is most of them use a off-the-shelf battery, not a one that you got to go hunt down. But if you're in a place with a lot of Teslas, and even local like auto parts stores might have a Tesla battery in stock. What's up, baby?
You gonna make me when I get off here? I'm gonna call just to see now. You got me interested about that. I never thought about that as far as like a local store. I know it's a couple battery places here, but like a parts store, that's something interesting. I think they'd be losing out if they don't get into it. Like I told you, I explained to you a little bit last night about my mechanic.
Yeah, exactly.
He's scared to work on EVs and just like feel like, man, stop being like that. Come on, we gonna. So
more milk. Did you not finish your plan? Is that why? Mommy thought you were done. Mommy thought you were done, but you really weren't.
She gonna be the spoilers one. I see. Huh?
I don't think so. Not yet. I think she's the other one. Yeah. Her name is Mommy. Not milk. But here she is. All right. Have fun, baby. Don't tell her you're done before you're done. She's gonna stop, and then you're gonna be like, I'm hungry again.
I gotta start using that green screen, man. I gotta try something different. The green screen.
Yeah. It's pretty fun. Let's see. Yeah, AutoZone starting to get into it. That's right, Highlander. Just a matter of if they have a market, a good businessman is going to go after. Just like I was saying about your mechanic. If he wants to slide into retirement and be able to either give the business to his children or sell it, say, hey, we're steady, versus scrounging for that last customer as he's trying to get his retirement together. I mean, learn a little bit of EVs.
And then, like I say, out here there's plenty of here in Austin, there's plenty of out of warranty Teslas, man. They would love to have somebody that work on them other than taking to the dealership. I mean, service center. Service. I'm saying dealership because earlier that I ain't said that in so long, but service center.
Yeah. I mean, because not everybody gets the primo service after they're out of warranty, and because it costs a lot. And so, like in your area, there's a lot of out of warranty. And then you've got other brands, and there's stuff that translates between them. So I would start with Tesla if you were not yet into you're in servicing cars, and you're not yet into a particular one, I would start with Tesla just because there's more of them, because you chance to use what you learned. But I would definitely also, if you're independent, I would definitely branch out as well so you can service anything. So you don't have a Volkswagen show up and say, oh, I don't know how to do that. Their system is different. No, it's an electric car. I'm not afraid. Here's my toolbox.
Hey, can I tell you right quick, and I'm gonna let you go on to the next. I tell people, I use this scenario on different situations a lot. I tell them, I say, you remember BlackBerry? He said, yeah.
Exactly.
And then I say, you say, look at iPhone. You see what happened? Yeah. BlackBerry didn't want to get with it. Now look at this iPhone Android, so he was like, he got a point, so don't get it.
With it. They were just a cheap BlackBerry when they started. No touchscreen, none of that. And where are they now?
Oh yeah.
You can't. It's a toss up. Like, do you want Apple or not Apple? And then other than that, they feel the same.
Yeah.
But then look what happened to BlackBerry. They're a brand name now, basically.
Get with the program.
Yep. And a back-end OS for like cars and stuff. So Tesla rep warned about extra power consumption. The vehicle depleted faster than usual. Made it service 10 minutes before closing. Swapped out 12-volt battery, costs $160. That's pretty cool right there. Oftentimes these batteries for regular cars can be up to $300, and Tesla is often. I like that their parts pricing is reasonable. Like,
man,
I almost accidentally charged for my dimming mirror in the S, and it was $30 or $50. On my Toyota, it was $299.
Yes. I had to go buy for my pickup, for my pickup truck to put on my trailer. Several months ago, I had to go get a new battery replacement. And looked up at all them batteries is like, because I ain't been in a while, and them batteries are like high, almost $300 some for a battery now. Like, that is crazy.
Yeah, just a regular gas car. All it does is crank the engine. Like, why?
Yes.
But so I mean, I've seen mine creep up that way, but when it did, every battery was even more expensive, and it comes back down because I think the way that they have the parts pricing set is just, I mean, there's a markup, but it's just that markup. They're not looking to make a profit out of service, and that's always been there. A lot of people must said I shouldn't be getting rich on not having built it right in the first place. So I'm glad to see they kept that through all the years. Correction on June 26th. An earlier version of the story mistakenly said the Tesla Model 3's battery located under the rear seat. The DC-DC is there. It's actually located under the hood, even though it's recommended you disconnect the low voltage connector when replacing it, which is under the rear seat. That's true. How badly did the commenters rip this apart? Clear case of flood. Yep. So don't they believe? I'd wait till they don't need to pay. Oh, sorry. She must have had an annoying tone or something with that comment. Wait till they're paid. Some people have problems with maybe after the top 3 months because both will die while picking up the kids. So you might have been in a country. Oh no, it could be in this country too. There was a while why the batteries were just so out of stock. Some shops had like a lot of them. You could just walk in and get it done, and others you had to wait a month for them to get one shipped from wherever the supplier was direct to the store to you.
What's that? The 12 volts?
Yeah, 12 volts.
Back in the day. Yeah, back in the day. Yeah.
Back when Moto was born. Yeah, because it was 12 volt batteries for Teslas, and a bunch of other car parts for other people, and then formula and human milk were in short supply. Moto went for like 3 days with no food because she had to wait for the milk to come in, and there was no formula. And on the discharge, they snuck us a little bit of the donated milk, 2 vials, because that was all they could sneak. Not that there was that much to begin with.
Right.
Man. That child had a rough start.
Yeah, but you may hear a little beat. It's like a tap noise. Man, I just woke up this morning to alert that we got this smart. I'm a gadget guy, like to the foot. But anyway, I got a smart smoke detector and the carbon monoxide in the main entry, and it's about time for it to be replaced. It says it's 10 years. I'm like, man, I didn't realize I had it this long, but yeah, it's time to
Oh, he wants to
replace
get
it.
a new sensor altogether. Yeah.
Yeah, it's telling you September the 1st. That's when it's time. Definitely time is up. So it keep beeping until I reset it to let me know. Just give me a warning. I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
but
But the
time
ones
flies
here,
by.
I have the old Nest Protect back before Google bought them and Google shut it down altogether. 10 years as well. But they, instead of going off in the middle of the night, when you turn off the lights, they do one last check, and they'll go yellow if they're not going to make it through the night. So you know.
Mhm.
Or if there's a problem in general, they go yellow. And then obviously if it's red or whatever, then it's much more.
That's the one I got, but I don't know. I don't know if it's a setting I got on there that is allowed to, because at least till you acknowledge it, I think. Because I looked at it on the app. Well, I looked at it on the app this morning.
Yeah.
I looked at it, but then I got a phone call, so I got sidetracked. I didn't mess with it too much. So, but then I just thought about it when I sat down with you. 'Cause I'm hearing it now, and I'm like, I'm hearing. I don't know because this mic probably can pick it up good. I'm in my computer room with the door closed, but I still can hear it.
Well, I'm disappointed to hear that it has the old school mode there.
Yeah, well, I got to replace it anyway. So
it should be in the app. But also with that though is now that Google's decided they don't want to be in that business anymore. They go over to Kitty or First Protect or whoever, and everybody's like, it looks the same, but it's not even close to the functionality. I don't want that. So now we gotta. They long ago you could wave at it and it would get rid of the smoke alarm in the kitchen, but
come on,
that was our first.
Like when it's going off. That's what you're saying? Like acknowledge. Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And they got rid of that pretty quick because I guess kids were waving at it or something.
Yeah.
And that was gone. So if you find any and you can still enroll them in the app, I'd get them before Google completely cancels it. But they're not making any new ones.
Yeah.
Which is disappointing. Oh, I just lost my main screen, which took the camera with it. Oh, camera's back. Back. I don't know why it does this. It's got power, not a reading. What's up, Lee? Happy Sunday. Good to see you. Oh my goodness, the 12-volt battery died and replaced it 10 minutes and charged 160. Is her name Karen? Nelson says they should replace it sooner. To be fair, it wasn't 10 minutes. They were stranded overnight and required an expensive tow. They didn't require that. That's what it took to get there after they had ignored it. I thought it was something more serious in the title, but it's just a 12-volt battery and traumatized it for TikTok. Imagine the hidden comments are much meaner to her. Let's go to this last one we pulled out, and then we'll just talk about the weather and batteries because it is topical right now. Let's see. The EV tax credit is dead. Here's why I still have hope. This was on the 3rd, I said? At 3. That would have been after he got it on his desk, right? Solemn day, they passed the thing, killing 7,500. But what day? September or December 31st? That's what I wanted. Oh no, the Senate won on that. So yes, it is definitely at the end of September instead of at the end of December because the mandate for EVs. There was no freaking mandate.
That's wild.
Yeah, so if you're in the market and the 7,500 would be nice to have or needed to make it happen, you've got 2 months. Because people are hateful. Sorry. But yeah, gas and oil subsidies will continue. You know it. Yeah, it's to stop it. But now there is a real risk that they're just handing it over to the Chinese at this point. And that was their biggest fear, is the Chinese entering the market. Well, they're the only ones who can do it cheaply without the tax credit. You've just given it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Tesla can get around it a little bit, but if none of the other, like, it got to the point where the dealers, same people say we don't want electric, this, that, and the other. They were like, hey, don't kill that. We need that. That's money. That's free money to our customers. We need it. So if you got the dealers on your side on this thing, then that tells you that not that you're doing it wrong, but it tells you that that you've swung too far. If the dealer is telling you you've swung too far, because they still won't, first choice sell you electric, but if they're telling you to make it so they can't sell electric, or they can't sell any car, then you're messed up. What happened to the solar? Yeah, we're gonna talk about solar in just a moment. Lee Moon's in? No, that's a different Lee. What happened to solar? We're gonna talk about solar. Chinese are coming. Why they're switching to non-automotive for your profession? That's pretty smart right there, because whatever they build here, you're still gonna be able to do what you do. And it's gonna be in demand, especially with your attention to detail and all that, and all the user experience. You just need to check. So whoever's here, you're gonna service them. They're gonna call you because what you know. But yeah, automotive is about to shake up even more because of this. I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. Obviously, they're thinking oil and gas. Give me some more oil and gas money, but that's not going to go on forever. When Saudi Arabia is looking to divest from gas, there's your sign. I mean, their goal for going EV was 2050, whereas everybody else was 2040 and 2035 and 2030. Norway to move through all those up. So the point where it's like they're already there. They're like 99% electric now, but when Saudi Arabia is telling you 20 years at the most, that's not a good retirement strategy. I know that if you're 80, you think you're going to retire or whatever, but if you're talking about your constituents and stuff, you need to actually look at what your constituents. It's coal and oil is not it.
Correct.
Plus, we need that. We need that stuff for feedstock for plastics and fertilizers. And if we just keep burning it up, it's not there for us to use it.
Right.
We're going to need it for other stuff. So September, that's disappointing. Move to affordably power electric grid by developing nuclear power. But the problem with nuclear power is that it's not affordable. We have got so many regs and stuff on it that it is more expensive than it actually is. Yeah, it costs prohibitive power, exactly. Solar batteries are cheap, yeah. We've got Don Quixote in charge, but the windmills really do work. As much as he wants to tilt at them. That's a perfect opportunity to lean into what we're going to talk about today. We were going to talk about the having solar and battery backup as we approach hurricane season. We're in it now. As we have more and more large repeating natural disasters year after year. You have a 100-year flood, you have a 100-year drought, all this. Like, each year we're having a bigger and bigger one. Having your own ability to keep going, even if it's not enough to go all, but if you can kind of just stretch it out a little bit, it helps. So like if you've got solar and a battery system, you can keep the fridge going, so you're not having to have unsafe food. You can you don't have to rebuy all the foods that you went to the grocery store, and then all of a sudden you have a surprise storm hits. Well, now power's out and you just bought all your food. Yeah, if you have a renter's insurance, you can just call them up and they'll give you a reimbursement to go get more. But now that's a claim on your insurance. You can even do that on your homeowner's insurance. But that's not a good move on your homeowner's insurance, because you have a deductible that should be way higher than that, and then again, it's a claim on your house. So that's with the batteries and the solar. You can have just the batteries and they'll smooth it over, but the beauty is having the solar to recharge that. So that way you can go for days on end, weeks on end. If you don't have a whole house system, you'll need to get to the point where, yes, you'll have to pick and choose. You'll have to start turning stuff off and conserve. But like when Marcus and I bought in, it was a lot more expensive, and the panels were a lot smaller. Like my house has got 280s on it, and I've only got 250s for the micros. But today, that same panel would be like 450, 500, and I probably would go with something like the Powerwall 3, so I wouldn't need a separate inverter. But I could go with a separate inverter, or I could go with bigger micros if I was going to stay with in-phase. And if so for the same price, I would be completely self-sufficient. And up to the law, they'd probably have to detune it because the law here is not the law, but the
Regulation.
the monopoly of the power company.
Yeah.
You can only pick one. You can only go like 90%. So they probably have to detune me or something. But, it's not as scary or as complicated. I wouldn't necessarily go with the people who are going around knocking on your door about it. I'd go do my own research and pick a provider who's competent and has good reviews. Local if possible. That helps. What prompted me on this, Marcus has a video you can drop in where he was talking about an update on his solar and his Tesla Powerwalls. It was to the point where you had you turned off your lights because the neighbors were like looking at you.
Yeah.
Mine always happens when the lights are on and I forget and leave them on. And it's like, oh man, I feel like a jerk. I look outside, it's dark.
Yeah. Felt bad, man.
Yeah. And mine's not even a whole house system. It doesn't do the girls' room, and it doesn't do the air conditioner, heater, or the oven. But it used to do the furnace, but we don't have a gas furnace anymore. We have a heat pump, so it doesn't do that. And it's only 30 amps per leg, so it doesn't do the oven. The oven is 50 amps. And
yeah, take it out right there. Take that out alone.
Yeah. And then the same situation with the air conditioner was a 40 amp, so it was too much. I did try to see how it would behave, but it was too much startup draw on the old air conditioner, so it wasn't worth trying a soft start. This new one might be, but it's already in. There's no need to go reconfigure it because the important part is the fridge stays running, the computers are staying running, so I can keep working. And all the equipment stays up, so any of our medical needs that have electricity are covered. And yeah, you're gonna get hot, you're gonna get cold, but you got blankets, you got fans. If this was a forever house for us, not a rental, I would actually continue on, go ahead and switch it to Powerwall or switch it to whole house battery. If I didn't go Tesla on it, but even this is going to be good for my tenants when the next one comes in because you've already got your Tesla charger, which works on everything now because everybody's going NACS. You've got your solar, so your bills are like next to nothing. And then you've got the battery, so that when the power does go out, which it does a couple times a month, and then definitely during disasters, you've got this. I don't know if I'm going to take the batteries with me and to leave the connection, or if I'm going to leave the battery here or not. Jake's afraid that somebody will either just straight up steal it or they'll swap it for one that's had a rougher life. And so if it's swapped, I'd be quite upset.
Follow your first mind. Follow your first mind.
Right, exactly. So they have a plug they can use, and they've got the solar coming in. So at a minimum. Yeah. And then the solar, is bolted to the roof. So if anybody's stealing that, somebody will see it.
Wow.
If they don't get zapped first, because anybody doing that is not thinking straight.
Yeah,
they will not have taken precautions. So you want to tell us about your experience with the power walls and the solar, and how yours is whole house, right? It's not just critical circuits.
Correct. So I first off, I tell people I don't do the door-to-door people that knocking on the doors. For example, I got a neighbor once, a lot of people know me, my neighbor. They know I'm that techie guy. They know I'm that Tesla man. They ask me questions. But she said she didn't want to bother me, which I told her anytime. They got my number, they can always, etc. But she ended up getting manipulated by somebody, them door-to-door salesmen on solar panels. She saw me have them. But they gather, So one thing you don't want to deal with, not saying all, not saying all like that. Everybody's different. But what I did was first thing I did was I touched out to three companies, my local companies, and got a quote for three different ones and see how they handled it. Like two of them, we met up. They came out. They observed my light bill. They see, they looked at how we conserve and how we use energy and so on. So, they kind of determined out there what, and then depending on where my house was facing, how, when the sun rises in the east and, sets in the west, etc. They was doing their job, they did a thorough, and then whoever gave me the best price and so on, who was taking, giving the best deals at the time. So I went with, went with one that's well known and big, number one company out here, etc.
So you went with a Tesla installer, not Tesla themselves.
Yeah, I went with a staller, right? Because I think I went through Tesla, but they was so at that time they was just it was, and I
didn't want to do it.
They would take so long. It was like so long, and I'm the type of person I want to get something done. Sometimes I want to get it and get out the way, or at least get on the books and get. That's just me. I'm patient. Yeah. But I didn't actually go through Tesla's website or anything. I tried at one point, but it didn't work out. So, like I said, I touched out there. But the company I went with, like Well Solar out here in Austin, they're Tesla's authorized dealer, et cetera, because they sell the product of Tesla, et cetera. So,
I actually recommend a Tesla installer over Tesla for now. Pretty much ever since they bought it, Tesla has kind of been the second burner to them on the actual home installs and business installs.
Yeah.
With an installer, that's their business, and they have reason to keep you happy. And you can pick up a phone and there's somebody there. You don't have to use the app. Not that the app is bad, but it's just a matter of I don't know if what the stories I'm hearing are typical or if they're just used to a little more hand-holding.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look over at my solar installer and I know if I call him and he says he'll be there by Thursday, he'll be there by Thursday and not passing me off unless, all there's a hurricane coming on Thursday. Sorry, how about Monday? And that would be pretty much the only time I expect something like that to happen. Or somebody's gone without power or somebody's house is having a situation. It would be emergent before he or one of his crew doesn't come by when they say they are. Versus
right.
And I know we're only going to hear the complainers from the Tesla side of it, and there's a lot more customers. But at the moment, I just feel more comfortable with an installer of the Tesla product because
you
don't have that.
And the other thing, I went with this company because this is what they expect. This is what they do. This is they're a solo company. This is what they do, etc. They got good reviews. Because I did have a couple years ago, I did have one problem at one time. I would say I think something happened. Either I think they had the inverter went bad or something. They had to update it to a newer one or whatever. But anyway, they brought you. They were like, well, we get you. Are you available? Because at that time I worked nights or whatever. So they were like, are you available for Tuesday, whatever? I said, yeah. Man, Tuesday was in. They actually came. They called and said, Miss Campbell, such and such is gonna be a little early. That's cool. I said, yeah, come on. And things like that, And it was a warranty fix and so on. So I like to, I'll be able to call somebody and get something fixed, especially if it's gonna, I spent my hard-earned money or whatever the case may be. But
yeah, and it's not that I don't think that the Tesla Energy won't take care of you or anything, but when I know this other option is currently better all around, I'm more comfortable saying that I want you to go to the thing. You sent me here, and these people, I'm on the list of the people who are complaining. I'm sorry. Versus, hey, I know you're going to have a good experience. I know the product is good, and I know that the other people, that's their business, is to make have a good time. So you combine the good product and the good customer service guaranteed versus I don't know what's happening on another one for the customer service. Why some of these people are complaining. I can't verify and say, oh, well, these people wanted a 3-minute response time. Or they're being completely reasonable and it was a month for something that should have taken 3 days. I can't say it. So that's why I'm saying get the good product and then go with somebody who's got skin in the game, because if they see you at the grocery store, you're like, hey, why is my solar still broken?
Good point.
They don't want that. So, they're going to treat you right.
So, but yeah, so like I said, we went with them, man. I did, I'm a numbers guy, and it was perfect. Like I said, from the energy we use, and then like I said, my community out here, my subdivision where we stay at, we moved ahead in 17, and when it was a fairly new subdivision that they built out, and they was building out here. We actually all electric. We don't have no gas, like gas things, etc. Which I kind of was like, ugh, at first, but then I'm like, no, I see why now, which I'm glad, because
especially if you found out the the gas stoves put all that poison in the air when they're off.
Or
Yeah. Like a brand new unit you've never turned on is still putting out the stuff in
Hey,
your house.
like I say, I you know the thing what they call silent. Even though you got carbon monoxide, I used to hear coming up. You know, I used to hear stories about that. You know, it's used to, like carbon monoxide. Even though you got a protector, and just sometimes that stuff just slowly. I just then I see some news right to the day. Some places, some buildings, some houses just explode and stuff. Sometimes from gas leaks and so on. And
Yeah, the old gas station in,
So-
what was it? Rome. Gas station exploded. There was a gas
Wow.
leak, or they suspect it was a gas leak,
Mhm.
methane leak.
so.
And
So we all lecture, man. We got everything lecture out here. So anyway, I did my, we did did my homework on some numbers and seeing what they was telling with the tax credits and etc. And it just made sense to do. I started off, I kind of started off small with as far as panels, but then as I saw and then benefit, then I went on it. I spent out with more panels. So I'm up to like 54 panels. The only thing I hate I didn't do at the time is get a third power wall. I got two. I would like the third one because. Of course, you can go a little longer way from experience, but I'm still cool. Cause I think I tried to buy. I was gonna buy one of yours at one point or something at one point. But I love our light bill. Like I said, and then also too, we did the homework on the company. Like you said, even like farther in Austin, certain companies don't allow you to do off the grid or give you. Thank God, our company we have revert metering. So I like I said, you go look at my video. I'll show you with the app how even charging my cars, running the AC. Things like that in the daytime, we off the grid. We're actually putting back. We actually put because the power walls top off at 100% in the day. They're good. So they're good. At nighttime, our house is running off the power walls up until I think I got it set to 15% for reserve, just in case something completely happened. But that was the best way. That was the best thing I did. Like I said, man, I like it. It's always good, especially out here in Texas, running AC all.
Oh yeah.
Negative $16 light bill, negative $20, negative 10, 16. It depends. But it's always negative because we putting back. And like I said, a couple years ago, we had that storm out here. I got a video on my YouTube as well on that. Like we had a little peak of sun come out, which was pretty cool. A little peak of sun coming, so that way we was providing. It was topping the power walls back off, which is good. And then it topped them off, but then we still had the excess. It was actually going back to the meter. So it's like we look at it like we helping our neighbors out, even though the grid was down. I was down for a couple of hours or whatever because we had that bad ice storm. And I did a video about that showing like, look, whole neighborhood off. We got power all around. Like I said, ours do the whole home as well. I just don't charge a car or anything like that if that was the case.
Yeah.
Unless I need for emergency or something like that, though.
Exactly.
Knock on wood. Hope we don't get to that point to have to do it, but you always gotta be ready instead of not. What they say, needing. What they say, needing, not having it, or wanting something like that saying.
Yeah. You don't want you want to have it and not need it, and need it.
And now, especially.
But you brought up a good point there about the tax credit that's going away in September. So you need it for your house. Again, same situation. You need it get on the books before 2 months from now because. That is a lot more than what you get on the car.
That's been a big help though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, and then you also touched on a very critical point right there at the beginning of it. Do your energy audit before you buy your equipment, because every watt that you save is a watt that you don't have to put on the roof, and that watt is not 1-to-1. You got to put more on the roof because the sun goes down. So you got to be able to put it in the battery, and then you got to have enough batteries to hold it. So that hits you 3 times really. So if you can save it in the beginning, that helps. Or at the very least, get what you can bring it down to from your audit. So say you need 20 kilowatt hours a day for us. Say you need, you need that. Make sure you have enough panels to do it, enough batteries to hold it. But if you know that also, hey, we need to change the windows and we need to update this thing and do that, then maybe you can get, I need 20 today, but we can get by with 15 or 18 and the projections look solid for this.
Good point.
Then do 16. Yeah.
That's good.
And then it'll save you a little bit. Yeah.
Right. Or you don't want to overbuy or underbuy and things like that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The county next to this building there, my installer was telling me how he had to put on when he installs the Tesla systems, he puts them on a I forget what he called it, but it's no export. So it'll feed back to the grid and it'll draw and everything, but the minute it gets to whatever their level is for the month, it stops. Discount. Because in that county, they don't actually have a power company. They have a co-op, but the co-op's rule is, because of the way that their purchase agreement is set up, that if you give them power, they will charge you for that power as if you used it. Even though they're able to then go and sell that power to your neighbor, it also means that they now have a surplus that they have to figure out what to do with, because they whatever they're doing, they're buying in blocks.
Mm-hmm.
So now they have an extra block, so they're going to charge you for having to get rid of that extra power that they had planned to give you. So he has it set.
Good point.
Because you use a kilowatt hour, it'll feed back a kilowatt hour, and then when it gets a kilowatt hour, it just stops.
Right.
That way they don't give you that bill for giving them power. Because they can't make you use it. But if you give them extra, you've got an administrative deal to have to deal with. So they will charge you as if you use it. So he's like, yeah, I'll help you out with that. That way you're not allowed to disconnect over there. So
make sure you're on the right rate too. Like I said, we on what they call a buyback rate, you know.
Yeah, the right rate too.
On a good rate. So it's pretty fair, you know. Like I said, it's been a good experience for us, man, you know. And I'm just speaking for me now. I know some people back in the day, they used to like solar panels on top of the house to make it look good. I think it look cute. You know, I like it. You know,
I like the. I mean, you know, I'm talking about that mess about you're gonna go look at the house just because of the other roof one. I was like, yeah, that's bogus. And then in Maryland, I actually went and go look at the house because it had this whole roof on it. I was like, oh, let me turn back around, look at this thing.
Now we did. Now, another thing when I was looking too, I did at one point. It caught my interest to look at the Tesla solar roof. But like I said, only problem with that was our house was fairly new. It didn't make sense because you can't, like, we had our house built. We customized, of course, but buying a home is you can't do nothing past the construction contractors and constructors and stuff like that. Unless we're gonna buy the house out front, drop that check for the whole house up front, then it's yours. You can do whatever you want, but that wasn't the case, exactly. Unfortunately. But I wanted to do solar roof, but it then after we had built, it wouldn't make sense to rip that roof off and then do, spend that much money. It was just, our roof was fairly new still, it's a new home.
Yeah, so, that was a problem with them for a while. So they got that up to the installers because the home company won't let anybody else touch the roof because they don't want to be involved in it, and Tesla won't do it until it's done. So then you've bought a roof for a way to put a roof on it. Whereas with the installer, they're local. They can make an agreement, a relationship with the
contract,
with the
construction
builder, and they can get the general contractor, and they can become a subcontractor to put the roof on properly. So you get a solar roof from the get-go. And some whole neighborhoods are their whole thing is we're solar roof neighborhoods. So we've talked about a couple of them. One was in Texas. I think one was like in Connecticut or something, where everybody's got a solar roof. Problem for that for me is it going to be the right level for what I need and what I use? Yes, right. Probably not. But
right.
Special.
That's a good point. Good point.
And then Marcus was talking about adding a Powerwall. Powerwall 3 is pretty cool because it has a lot of solar inputs. It has a lot more instantaneous and surge power, and so you can get by with less of them for your load. You'll still need them for the capacity if you want to just run off grid, basically. You'll need more of them, but that's also pretty cool. There's if your load is still within the what the one unit can handle, what the 2 units can handle, you can get extra battery packs, and the extra battery packs can be added on to just make that one run longer, or those 2 run longer. Right now, I think there's still I just saw this the other day from a European installer. The add-on packs have to be on the main units. So if you put one on the second unit right now, it's not actually.
Well, now I spoke with one of my guys with Teslas and the energy side and so on about the Power 3. But for me now, he told me my particular one. I wanted to, add one, but he said I couldn't. They're not compatible with each other. They're not compatible with each other, which so I said, hey man, what are the ones there for the load in for the Powerwall 2? Then I know they marked down and what the clearances. Let me talk to me. Yeah. So
refurbished.
Look, I want to show this right quick. Like we've been raining. It's been raining all day since it's been raining day and night out here, like nonstop. You can hear about some of the floods, the floods that didn't happen up in Father Austin and so on. Bless those people that there's a lot of casualties and so bless those family there. But just want to show you, like, for example, We have no sun today, last couple of days. So right now, just which is still this is why I say the credits. You probably can see this. This is why the credits are good. Let me see. Let me try to. This is why the credits come in handy if you ask me. For example, like you see right now, we're pulling from the grid now because we don't have no we pulling from the grid right now because we don't have any we haven't had any sun today or all week actually. But the power walls is at 15% still. This is set like that because I don't want to take no power from it. Just cause if the power on the grid completely go out, then we'll still be able to have this will provide us for a while, providing our home. So this is what, and then keep in mind, I'm charging my car right now because I was making some runs. I'm charging White Ghost up right now. I got like 50 minutes left or whatever. But anyway, that's charging. That's what running. That's what charging the car right now as well. And that's what we're using pretty much right now. And the wife do got the AC on, and like I said, you see my bed. She keep it freezing up in here. So surprised I got my hoodie on today, but yeah. But yeah. So I just want to show you. Like I said, we pulling from the grid, but it's very little that we use from the grid. And then, like I said, keep in mind we still got that credit that we have left. So it's all about numbers, Like I said, I love the clean solar energy that we provide and do.
Yeah. Highlander says, I'm between two nuclear plants. Power almost never shuts off. That's nice.
Wow.
The more solar, the better. Do your price checks, right? Backup system. Exactly. You're gonna want to customize it to your situation. And Timothy is over in Switzerland. I hope it's a vacation, or if it is work that you're having, some free time after work to enjoy the place.
Switzerland sounds nice.
Yeah, indeed. So then the other thing with the Powerwall 3 is, again, you got to worry about anybody with the rebates. If you want to get it soon and it was already on the budget, get it before September. And what was I going to say else about it? So he was saying that in Europe right now they're saying that there's a firmware update coming where all of the head units can have extra batteries, but right now only the main. So if you wanted 2 head units and 2 extra batteries, you want to put them both on the main unit for now, or just get them installed, and then you got to wait for a software update to actually use the other one. Your installer will know how to do it. It just may take extra trips, but the good thing is that if you are in a situation where you need extra trips, you can just be chunking that money away. And if you were gonna use they have these 0% builder loans, which are pretty cool. If you were going to use that, you might be able to just chunk the cash at it if you were already.
That's good info.
Yeah, and then they've also got the portable systems. Like I've got the EcoFlow. I've got the EcoFlow Delta Pro. They're onto the Delta Pro 3 and Delta Pro Ultra right now. They work in a couple different ways. You can feed them into a generator inlet on your building or your house, or you can just run a bunch of extension cords to it. Or they have what's called the smart home panel, and you can the older smart home panel like I have had a relay system, and it would have a relay per circuit. And the new one is just a whole-on panel that you add in next to your main panel, and it just takes the whole circuit breaker over, which is I think cleaner, easier to do for your electrician. But the beauty of them is that you can take them with you if you know you're not in your forever home, or if you are a snowbird, you can just put a panel in each place, and then when you get there, you plug them into the panel, and they're ready to go. Because if you're not going to be there, you're not going to have food in the fridge. Do you need the fridge still running? Or say you're going on vacation, like camping or just a road trip, you can take one with you and leave one at the house, because if you're not there, your fridge doesn't need that much power, but you might want it to deploy, run the laptops, run a projector or whatever, or just if you've got a portable AC and it's just too hot one day, you just can't take it because there's no breeze. You cut that thing on, boom, hook up portable solar panels to it. They have these suitcase solar panels that aren't. I don't know. I wouldn't pay new full price for them. I look for them refurbished. I look for them used. I look for the off brands.
Best deal.
They charge a mint for the new ones of the same brand.
And they probably
got
the same warranty, probably too, ain't it? A lot of people get the same warranty.
Because if you get one that's too powerful, you don't want to let the magic smoke out of these MPPTs. Yeah, they're very sensitive. So if it says 150 volts, don't go over 150 volts open circuit. If it says 11 amps, you can give it 40 amps if you want. It doesn't matter. But don't go over your volts. That lets the magic smoke out.
Right.
But you don't have to go big like the Ultra and the Pro. You can just get like a small, like the River. There's other brands you may have heard of. There's Duracell, there's Jackery. Both of those two charge way more than everybody else. There's Blue Eddy. There's so many choices if you want to do the portable or the temporaries. If you're in a place where you actually own it, but it's not your forever home, you can go ahead and get it either generator inlet put in so that you can just put in whatever, or do like I did and get the panel put in, and then you can take the batteries with you. If you're in a rental situation, you have to do the extension cords, and you can do the balcony solar. I was just watching Zach. He did a install over at Jerry Rig Everything on his house, where Utah, of all places, is allowed balcony solar of the European variety here in the States. So you can plug in your system, and you can use basically 1600 watts, 1200 watts, whatever is rating for a 15 amp circuit, and you can plug in that many panels direct and just push the grid backwards without having to do a full-on solar install. You can do portables, you can do up on the roof or whatever. And then he pointed out that if you have a battery buffer, you can't feed the grid anymore, but you can still feed in another set of panels to charge your battery.
Okay.
That way at night, you're still good to go, even though you were feeding into the grid, or at least to the house anyway, all day long. So now the sun is down, you've got that battery and you can push in, but because you have the extra solar, you were pushing in more than just matching your consumption. So that way at night, you have a little left over. So it doesn't have to be a $70,000 install. It doesn't have to be a $50,000. I don't even think mine was. I think mine was. It was in the tens, but it wasn't high. There were two things that helped with mine though. I already had something on the roof when I bought the place, and I got just rolled off the truck special because they ordered a set, and I think they had just come out with 300s at the time. The guy wanted 300s on his house. So they shipped me, or they shipped them my 280s, same as what were already on the house. And so I was like, yeah, I'll take them. And they got me a discount so they didn't have to pay to ship them back.
Right.
Yeah. I always look for a deal. Always look for a deal. So I saved some of the fee. I had to pay the labor. I had to pay the racking and the time and all that. But I didn't have to pay as much as the new ones cost. They were new, but I didn't have to pay the full price because they were able to save the freight and the marketing and all of that, repacking. So they were able to just put them on the truck and put them on my house. So not a bad deal. Look at that as well. More solar the better. Just do your price checks by the right backup system. That's right, Highlander. So with that, anybody have any topics they want to cover before we call it a day? I'd say we had a good chat.
Hey, I want to say since you said something about Jackery as well, like tell some let some people know that go check out my YouTube on some of my shorts and so on. I'm a racer. I'm gonna show you how that. I like people. They see me. They say here they got all kind of like nice little funny names for me because I'm an electric guy. I'm just doing totally different from what like. My race trailer, I got my enclosed trailer. I got with me and my son. Like we got a race day out there. He done made this. He called his little dorm room. He got this air mattress. He watching his TV. And we got the microwave. We got the refrigerator in there. He just chill because it'd be all day without racing because the sun be so hot and so it's an all day event. So he been there chilling and with the AC on my trailer. But I made a video showing everybody that started doing the traditional way, where people do use a gas generator, making all that noise and put it in the air. I use the Jackery system, the big Jackery box. It's 30 amps that power my trailer load. It's powering all that, my AC, my refrigerator, microwave, and so on, the lights in there. All this, and I got solar panels lit all on the side of my trailer that in the daytime, the sun is providing that power to that box. So that way, when at nighttime or when the sun going down, that's when I got my box to take care of the rest of the night, the rest of the day or whatever at the track. Yeah. I'm about green, man. I like to set the so Jackery. I'm trying to, hey, come on now, let's work, because I can make a lot. I made a lot of people look into that, like, man, this man got a good point. And like I said, you have the loud generators, smelling, because I ain't gonna lie. I've been to racing since I was little, I've been around XL, but it's just different when I'm racing a car that can keep up with some of the best, but not even have to breathe in gas and dealing with gas and nitrous backfire and all kind of dangerous type things. But
they take us on.
I make a video, man. I love doing that kind of stuff, demonstrating how green we are at the racetrack.
Yes.
And how technology and how this new, you can get into these kind of things. But the Jackery is a good brand, don't get me wrong. They're a good brand as far as solar panel. Because I got a friend, he said he got a rental home. He bought them. It may be what you were talking about, but I know he spent a good money. It's like a battery. It's a backup setup for that as well, because they be having storms out in the country.
And Jackery just got into that as well.
Yeah.
The product is solid. It's
Yeah.
just they're more expensive than everybody else.
Exactly.
So if you like it, look at somebody else.
Shout out Jackery. Come on.
If they think you get a sponsorship,
let's work. Because I can convince a lot of people.
Right.
But yeah, check out the channel.
I ended up on the EcoFlow system for, because we were going to take some with us when we go on our travels.
Mm-hmm.
But the EcoFlow Wave 2, we got the EcoFlow Wave original, but the 2 had a heat pump. So I'm like, hey, that means one less thing to carry with us when we go on the road. So we ended up using the Wave 2 when the air conditioner went out in here, and it was hot. It barely kept up because it wasn't made for a room this size. It was made for camping.
Mm-hmm.
But it held it off. Like, it didn't get hot until almost sunset, and then after sunset, it was able to catch back up again. So that was a nice touch. The reason I wanted to keep them the same was just because then you could plug in straight into the bigger battery.
Hey, what brand was that again? I'm gonna look into that one too. What brand was that again?
It was EcoFlow.
EcoFlow, okay.
EcoFlow. They're not as bad on the new price, but they're starting to creep up there. What I do is I always get them used or refurbished.
Right.
That's a good tip on them, because I go for the factory refurbished. That way you still got the good warranty.
Yeah.
But it saves.
Yeah.
Refurbished. And yeah, so I was going to ask you about the solar, or if you just charge them enough from home, because some people have enough from home, but you said the air conditioner, so yeah,
it don't. Yeah, I tried that. It went out within an hour or so, a couple hours, because of it's pulling a lot of power and so on. But no, so, but the crazy funny thing about it, I had the panels. I was just being lazy to load them up in the trailer. But they make it so easy, convenience, man. Like, I can go grab it right out there. It's a handle, like it's so, and they fold out. They got a little weight to them, because they do though. But they like a briefcase, like carrying a nice little size briefcase. I got like 4 of them right now. I might get 2 more. But they put out the output. They do what they do though. They do some amazing things, and it just.
Yeah. The way to think of both the fixed ones on our roofs and the portable ones is to think of them as TVs, because they're basically reverse flat panels. So a flat panel puts out light, and then they add speakers that put out light and sound. Mm-hmm. And the solar panel collects the light and turns it into electricity. So it's an oversimplification, but it's an easy way to think of it's a reverse flat panel TV. That's why it's so heavy, and that's also why the ones on the roof work so well. But the other thing with that was the food trucks. That's one thing I don't really care for is you go out there getting this good food, and the smell is just tainted with just like the smell of gasoline or diesel or propane. When they've got so much roof space, but beyond the hood, because the hood's got to have fume extraction. They put a couple panels up there. Put one of these medium-sized battery packs. Like, you can do the Delta has a van life edition. Mm-hmm. Put a stack of 3 of them little dudes up in there, and you can still cook with the propane. You don't have to switch to electric cooking if you don't want to. But I've seen some successful food trucks that do solar with induction cooking, and oh man, so you're not getting that smell or the sound. Like, if you decide to eat next to the truck, and I hear, and if you're just further back where you can't hear them as well, you're not smelling the propane and the gas drift towards you while you're trying to eat your good food. You got part of it is the smell, and if the smell is tainted, then the food won't taste as good.
That's a good point, man.
If you're running a food truck, that's something to consider as well. And we're not sponsored, so
exactly.
We just tell them from experience what we have.
Exactly.
So definitely thank you, Marcus, for coming on. What's your channel, and where can people catch you at?
Yeah, please, all platforms. I'm on everything: Twitter, X, YouTube, Instagram, everything. Everything is just like it says at EV Smoke ATX, which it represents like to clarify this because a lot of people think it's smoking. Like, nah, it's not that. But EV, which is electric vehicle, which I love. Smoking people on the track or getting smoked because the fastest don't always win, etc. ATX, Austin, Texas. So EV Smoke ATX out of Austin, Texas. And you can catch me on all platforms. Check me out. We got some nice stuff going on and some big things happening. I'm an employee at Tesla as well, so I know some of the good things that's coming out with the company, which hey, it's gonna be really impressive. So stay tuned, man. It's fun things. But like I say, Robotaxi out here in Austin is a pretty. I haven't sat in one yet, but I have seen a couple of them just the other day going by. And it's just amazing, showing you where the future is going. But a lot of people try to, criticize this on this and that little thing. But they trust me or not, you got to get stuff to get data and so on. But it's gonna be worked out by simply a software update. Like I try to tell people about the beauty on the EV. You just have a software update. You got a whole new car sometimes.
Yes.
So just sitting in the garage or on Wi-Fi or whatever, you got a whole new car. So, but yeah, I love what I do. I'm a techie guy. I'm a geek or whatever. But I love racing. I started my own racing company, which is like I said, it's called High Voltage and Performance Racing Team. We got some bills. We got some things that we're working on right now. But like I said, our main focus, we focus mainly on electric vehicles right now, trying to make those stand out and be, check out my car. I got a 101 that it done grabbed the eye a lot of people that was like, I call non-believers believers, because they were like, wow, I didn't know you can do this, or this thing is fast and so on. It got so bad. Well, a couple weeks ago, I told you, man, we was at an event. I was begging for a race. Everybody, some people know me. I did what they call a shakedown. I just warm my tires up. I went down that track and I shouldn't have did that. My son said, man. And so no, I was begging for races. I was like, they said, they don't want no parts of that car. He said, it's quiet and deadly, or like it's ripping people on the track. But it's all about fun. I love what I do, and like I said, just try to convince people on some of the things that I know. I'm good friends with Kacey here. Like I said, he know a lot of things. That's why I love his channel, and he educate people. I went live on my YouTube to try to get some of my people to come over and check him out and follow him because he's really informative. Like if I don't know it, I ask people like, hey, we always have conversations, about things, and we help each other out. I may know something he may not know, or we'll touch out to somebody and things. But it's all about we trying to educate the people the right way about sustainable energy out here.
Definitely. So I also want to thank our channel members like Anders and Timothy coming through, and your monetary support helps us meet the bills for this channel. And I want to thank all of you guys for coming through and watching and spending time with us today. I want to thank Marcus again for coming on, and Highlander for doing the moderation of the space, even though X was being a bear today. What's new? And without all of you guys, this wouldn't be possible to do this week after week. And we haven't missed a day yet. We had some days where it wasn't all that useful. Like, I think we've had two of them over the last couple of years. One where I was late, another where the sound just didn't work. We had, we had global catastrophe. We had 2 kids show up, and we haven't missed one yet. And so I'd like to keep it that way and enjoy this with you guys. And so with that,
hey, I take my hat off to you for that, because I ain't gonna lie, Kacey, I was like, even though I be on the track sometimes, I would still be listening to you and everything, but I'm like, my man, he's going hard. He take his dedication, so that's dedication, man. We appreciate you though, man, because you really, if anybody deserve it, you do, because you really take pride in what he do here. So all my people go follow him now here, right there. I'm gonna drop the link in my thing as well. But we appreciate you though, man. You take it serious.
Thank you. So I'll catch you all on the flip side, and then Marcus, I will chat with you after the outro, and then we'll
yes,
get
sir.
some lunch.